hip mobility is something that you really want to work on, then this is the session for you. So if you've been sitting down all day and your hips are just feeling a little bit niggly, a little bit tight, and you just want to move, you want to stretch them out, then this is going to be amazing for you. We're going to lie down. So lie down on your back with your knees bent and have your feet and knees together. Just take your arms out to the sides, finding that T position, and then roll your chest and shoulders open. We're just going to start with a spine twist. So taking both knees to one side, take them as far as they'll go without your shoulder blades lifting, and then bring them back in through centre and take them over to the other side. So let's just do a nice little gentle twist here. And then as you come back in through centre this time, let's bring those legs wide now. So let's go to the outside edges of your mat. And again, roll both knees to one side, in through centre and over to the other side. And you can feel that we're getting a little deeper now into your hips as you just rock gently from side to side. Go as far as feels good to you. Maybe it feels nice to let your head go the opposite way to your knees. Or you might want to just keep your head in centre, whatever feels good to you. And then as you come in through centre this time, let's bring our knees into our chest. Give your knees a little hug and just rock gently side to side. And then we're going to have one hand on the top of each knee, open the knees wide and circle them around. Let's reverse that and go the other way. And then just placing your feet back down on the floor, grab your strap next and we're going to do the strap stretch. So we're going to place the strap around one foot, straighten that leg up and reach your other leg out long. And we're going to press out through our heel, pulling the front of the foot towards you, but let that leg be heavy in the strap. So you're holding with your arms, that leg can just relax. And we're just going to hold here for a few breaths. And then if it feels good, it feels okay, bring that leg across your body. Again, just a few breaths here. Bring your leg back into centre. So we're going to slightly turn that leg out from the hip and take the leg out to the side. Only take it out as far as you can maintain that level pelvis. So if you go too far and that hip starts to lift, then just bring that leg back in a bit. We still want to have both of those little hip bones pointing straight up to the sky. And then bring that leg back into centre. So we're going to do some little hip circles now. We want to keep that slightly turned out position of that leg. And then we're going to bring the leg across and then circle it down around and bringing it back in through centre. Let's do 5 in each direction. Circle that leg around, bring it back in. You can make the circle as big or as small as you like, as feels good to your hip. When you've done 5 in one direction, just reverse, go the other way. We're trying to keep the rest of our body fairly still and just have the legs circling. But as this is a mobility session, don't worry too much if there's a little bit of movement there. When you've done your 5 circles in each direction, we're just going to switch the strap onto the other leg. Again, we're going to have the free leg out long, the leg in the strap as straight as you can, and push out through your heel, pulling the front of the foot towards you. Let's just again take a couple of breaths here, just allowing your body to relax, letting that leg be heavy in that strap. And then if it feels okay, let that leg come across. And you can feel how that release kind of moves its way to your outer hip. Bringing that leg back in through centre, slightly turn it out, taking that foot out to the side. Again, making sure that you've not gone so far that your pelvis is having to go with it, it's just the leg. And then bring that leg back up. Keeping that slight turn out, we're going to do our circles again here when you're ready. Bring the leg across, Circle down around and back in through centre 5 times in each direction. And when you're ready, reverse and go the other way. Just notice if your body is trying to rock and roll. Just notice, don't try and change anything particular, just notice it's different one side to the other. And then as you bring your leg back in through centre this time, we're just going to bend that leg in and just get rid of that strap. Just straighten your legs out long, reach your arms overhead and stretch from fingertips to toes. Circle your arms out to the sides and then bring in those knees into your chest here. Just give them a little stretch. And then let's do the same leg together. So we're going to keep hold of our right leg and let your left leg lengthen out long and lower all the way down to the floor. We're going to pull that right knee in towards our chest. Take some deep breaths here. Let your shoulders and jaw relax. Taking those deep breaths. And then we're going to slide that left leg back in, keep your foot down on the floor, and we're going to cross that right leg over to find that number 4 stretch position. So resting your ankle on your knee so that your foot is free, so don't have your foot on the ankle, foot on the knee, it's that ankle. And then have that knee turned out to the side. If that knee is kind of wanting to poke towards your nose, you can use your hand to gently guide it out to the side. Let it go to where it feels okay for you. And take some deep breaths here. Now you might choose to keep that supporting leg down on the floor where it is, or you might want to float that leg up and then hold behind that knee and then just let your leg relax down. You can always grab your strap and pop your strap around your leg if it's a little bit too far away for you to reach with your arms. You can always reach right through and make it even tighter and even more of a stretch if you can reach to just in front of that knee. So any of those are fine. And then we're going to start to move in this number 4 stretch position. So if you've just got your foot still down on the floor, you can choose to stay down on the floor, or you can join us in this move-in stretch. We're going to let the arms relax back down, and the supporting leg, we're going to start to straighten it out away from us. Keeping the other leg crossed over, and then we're just going to bring that leg back in. Again, you can make this movement as big or as small as you like. You can make it just super small here, if that feels good to you. Or you can really stretch that leg away and then really draw it in. Keep going. Let's do one more time. And as you bring that leg in this time, we're going to place that supporting foot back down on the floor. We're going to keep this number 4 stretch position, but we're going to roll onto our side, bringing the sole of that right foot all the way down to the floor. Try and keep that knee pointing up to the ceiling, don't let it drop towards you. And then let's see if we can roll our upper body back into the floor and open those arms out into a T. If it's too much for you, just release that leg and just kind of be in that spine twist position. If it feels okay, we're going to stay here. And as always, take some deep breaths and try and relax here. We're going to roll back onto our back now. So you might want to bend your elbows and press your elbows into the floor to help you to come back in through centre. This leg that we've got across, our right leg, we're going to bring it in towards us. We're going to hold behind that knee to see if we can start to straighten our shin up towards the sky. Now, we're going to take it into that happy baby position. You can stay here. You can grab your strap and pop it around your foot, or you can hold onto that outside edge of your foot. So you've got a few little options there for you. If you feel like your chest is being crushed, Just take the knee slightly out to the side just to give you that little bit more space. And then take your deep breaths. And when you're ready, then just gently release that leg down and straighten it all the way out long on the floor. I'm going to bring the left knee in this time, so pull that left knee in towards you. Again, pulling it in as deep as it will go. We're going to hold here and take some deep breaths. Notice if you're clenching your teeth or your shoulders are up around your ears, and see if you can relax. And then we're going to slide that right leg back in again. Foot stays down on the floor, knee bend. And we're going to cross the left leg over this time. So again, it wants to be the ankle on your knee, so the foot is off and the foot is free. Where's that knee? If it's pointing towards you, again, we're going to try and guide it out to the side. Take some deep breaths. And then either choosing to keep that supporting leg down on the floor, or we're going to bring that leg in, and again either holding behind your knee, grabbing your strap or wrapping your strap around your leg, or maybe reaching even further through to grasp your hands around the front of that leg. And then choosing whether you want to again stay here, stay with your foot down on the floor, or whether you want to add that moving stretch. So we're going to release the hands, and we're going to start to straighten out that supporting leg, reaching that leg away and then bend in to bring it all the way back in. Again, you're in control. You can make this movement as big or as small as you like. I'm going to do one more time. And then as you bring that leg back in this time, we're going to again place the supporting leg down. And we're going to roll to bring the sole of the left foot down to the floor. And check that that knee hasn't dropped, so keeping that knee pointed up. And we're going to roll our upper body into the floor, trying to get those shoulders down. And remember, if it feels too much for you on this side, just come on out of it and let those knees just come together into that spine stretch position. Otherwise, hold here and take those deep breaths. When you're ready, we're going to roll back onto our backs. Again, you can bend your elbows and press your elbows into the floor to give you that little bit of support if you need to come back. We're going to find our happy baby on that left side this time. So we're going to release that leg, bring it in towards us, holding behind that knee and starting to straighten that lower leg up towards the sky. Either holding here, using your strap, or see if you can reach up to hold that outside edge of your foot. And let's take some deep breaths here. When you're ready, we're going to release that leg down, placing that foot back down on the floor. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees roll out to the side to find that cobbler stretch. Nice to really release the inner thighs, but also again hip mobility, opening out those hips. Let's hold here. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring those knees back in towards each other, and we're going to roll over onto our front. So coming onto your front, and we're going to stretch out our quads. So if your hips are really tight and the fronts of your thighs are really tight, it tends to keep you in that kind of slightly bent position all the time, so your hips don't fully open out. So we're going to really do a little bit of release work through the front of the pelvis now. So I'm going to bend our knee and then reach your hand back and grab your ankle. If you can't reach your ankle, use your strap. Loop it around your foot and then just hold onto the strap. I'm going to try and relax down here. So you're going to notice if there's a big space here under the front of your hip. So if you've had to kind of poke your bottom up in the air and create a big gap here, you're going to think about sending that knee down towards the end of your mat away from you and trying to relax your pelvis down. So we're not going to force it, we're not going to muscle it down. We're going to find space and length to allow it to come all the way back down. We're just going to take some deep breaths. And then releasing that leg. Let's do the same on the other side, so bringing that other leg in. Again, noticing whether there's that big space under your hip, and if there is, you're going to try and relax it down, but don't force. And then releasing that leg long. We're going to go back to the first side. I'm going to keep the leg down on the floor, but we're going to bend the knee and slide it out to the side. And again, noticing whether there's that big space under your hip. So this now is an inner thigh release. So we were just doing the quads, which is the front of the thigh. This time we're doing that inner thigh. If there's a lot of tension and tightness in your hips, then as you've taken that knee out to the side, it almost looks like you've kind of rolled onto your side, so your bottom's kind of sticking up in the air and there's a big space here. So we're going to think about sending that knee away from you, creating more space in the hip to allow your pelvis to relax down. And we would really like our pelvis to be flat on the floor, but you know, that might take us a while to get there, and that's okay. Taking those deep breaths and relaxing down. These are my favourite kind of releases and stretches, these passive stretches where all you have to do is get your body in position and let gravity do the work. And then that leg that we've got bent out to the side, let's just straighten that leg out and then relax there. So just change the orientation of our leg a little bit. So when we were knee bent, our leg was slightly turned out, we were in a little bit of that external rotation, and now that we've straightened the leg, it's a little bit rolled in, so it's internal rotation. So it's just going to target slightly different areas and just give you a slightly different sensation, but all really good for keeping those hips nice and mobile. And then we're going to just bend that knee to bring that leg all the way back in. Placing that leg down on the floor, let's just gently rock our hips from side to side, just a little release here before we do the same on the other side. And then when you're ready, you're going to bend your other knee. Again, slide it out along the floor. I'm just going to turn around so that I'm still facing the right way. And find that bent knee position. Notice if it's different on this side. Can you try and relax your pelvis down? So with these passive stretches, you could stay here for as long as you wanted to. And we're going to straighten that leg out now. Again, just relax. So you can come back to any of these little passive release stretches, perhaps when you're watching TV at night, rather than sitting on the couch. Maybe just get down on the floor and have a little stretch. Especially if you have been sitting down all day. It will feel amazing. When you're ready, you're just going to bend that knee back in, bring that leg back in, and again just gently rock your hips from side to side. We're going to push ourselves up and back to find that child's pose, to find that rest position. Let your bottom reach towards your heels, reaching those arms forwards, and just hold here. And then when you're ready, come on up. Okay, so that is your hip mobility session. Some really nice releases, some really nice stretches there for you. And then I'm just going to leave you with one that you can get yourself into and stay for as long as you want to, and that is our hip flexor release. So you need your rolled up towel or your half dome for this one. And then you're going to place it on the floor and you're going to lie on your front with your hip bones just on your towel or your half dome and your pubic bone just off. So you're going to let your pelvis tip back, yeah? So come on down. Hip bone's just on. Pubic bone off, so your pelvis is tipping back and your pubic bone is close to the floor. Hip bones are lifted. You can choose to be on your elbows or you can come all the way down onto your hands, whichever feels better for you. I kind of like to be up here. And you're again just letting gravity tilt your pelvis and release tension through the fronts of those hips. So if you really struggled with your quad stretch where we were bending the knee and trying to hold onto the ankle, maybe stay here for a while, take some deep breaths, try to relax here, and then try that one again and see whether it's easier. So if you are up on your elbows like me, just watch for that tendency to drop into your rib cage. And you see how my back kind of just sags there. So you want to make sure those ribs are drawn in so that you're not putting any pressure on your lower back and you're not irritating your lower back at all. You can have legs together, legs wide, whatever feels comfortable for you. Maybe grab yourself a book, have a little read, watch TV, but try and stay here for a few minutes and take some deep breaths. I'm going to switch the video off now. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you enjoyed our little hip mobility session.